Welcome back, everybody. I'm glad you guys are joining me today. And Tim Pool continues his villain arc. That's right. Tim Pool, who has been on a streak of losing of late. Of course, if you guys didn't know, he made this public because it became public against his wishes. But he decided to go ahead and meet with a foreign leader to complain and whine about speech on the internet that was harmful to this foreign nation. Yeah, if you guessed Israel, you're correct. Tim Pool has sold out to Israel, has sold out to the propaganda arm of Israel, who is seeking to continue to expand the propaganda within the United States to continue to fund the war machine that is over there, and they're hoping that we can send American bodies to go fight for another war for them. And so Tim Pool, of course, took the secret meeting along with other conservative influencers such as Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, and some other individuals I can't remember off the top of my head. And he was all part of the secretive meeting. And after this meeting, on his Timcast show, this topic of Austin Metcalf, the teenager who was murdered in, I believe it was it Texas? Over in Texas by Carmelo Anthony over Austin Metcalf asking him to move out of a tent that he didn't belong, in which provoked him to go ahead and stab Eric. I keep wanting to say Eric Metcalf. No, it's Austin Metcalf in the heart with a knife, obviously leading to his death. And Carmelo Anthony then ran. And so now Tim Pool is absolutely on that villain arc, saying that it was self-defense on Carmelo Anthony's part. And he uses this flawed logic to come to this conclusion. And I just don't know about Tim Pool. I haven't been a Tim Pool fan in a long time. I have not followed Tim Pool much after he had some really, really bad takes a few years ago. And just him being the fence sitter that he is, and more that he comes out, it's just, he's not, I don't know. I don't like watching his show. I don't follow him much. I see him on Twitter and stuff. That's where I see many of his bad takes, along with like the Daily Wire and stuff like that. But that's another story for another day. But let's go ahead and zoom in on this one here. And of course, this is Tim Pool. He says, I'm confused by this story talking about the Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf story. Are we against self-defense now? He's claiming Carmelo Anthony exhibited self-defense in this case by concealing a knife and then utilizing that knife in a way that killed the other person. That is not self-defense, Tim. Anyway, so Sean Fitzgerald here on Twitter states this. He says, this is an aggressively bad analogy from Timcast. The situation wasn't, I warned you, I have a deadly weapon. Carmelo had a concealed knife, provoked a potential fist fight, then escalated to lethal force without warning. This isn't self-defense in any state, he claims. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what Tim Pool actually said on his show. Let's take a listen.
For one where he says, what is it? Nothing matters but this. He was at a school event at the wrong team's tent with a knife. He clearly chose murder than to walk away, cut and dry here. Nope, wrong. Imagine you are invited to a party at someone else's house and you are legally carrying a firearm. And then a fight breaks out and or like an altercation breaks out between you and some guy, and there's drinking involved or whatever. I'm not trying to make a 1-for-1 scenario. I'm trying to create a potential scenario separate from this one with similarities. You go to a party. Let's say you go to a party and some guy starts saying stuff like, yo man, get out of here. And you're like, I can do what I want. I was invited to the party. Verbal altercation escalates. And then the dude, you're standing there and you pull your sweater back and you've got a gun. You put your hand up and say, don't come close to me, bro. I'm warning you right now. Do not come close. Do not take another step. Then the guy grabs your arm and makes a move. So you draw your weapon and you use it. Okay. Make the argument. You have no right to defend yourself when you're being attacked by a guy. Make the argument. By all means, go ahead and do so. I ain't going to do it. I don't know the circumstances. You can argue that you're in a place you're not supposed to be. You can argue it's that guy's house, and it doesn't matter. A guy can invite you into your neighbor could be like, come on over, brother. And then if he gets physical with you, you can defend yourself. And then what? The police are going to be like, well, you were in his house. And it's like, yeah, you invited me in. It's like, the door was open. And
Terrible analogy, by the way, on the part of Tim, trying to justify self-defense for Carmelo Anthony's side. And that isn't the case whatsoever. If you've been following this story, which I think a lot of people have been following the story, Eric, again, Austin Metcalf, and Carmelo Anthony, you know the situation, what happened where, and of course, we've had dozens of witnesses already come to state these facts that he didn't announce that he had a weapon, obviously. And it did not escalate to the point where it would require physical violence at all. And of course, Carmelo Anthony was in the wrong, wasn't supposed to even be there, was there, and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart and killed him, and then tried to plead self-defense. It doesn't fly. I hope justice is served in that case. I hope that that Carmelo Anthony gets the fullest extent of the law used against him, because I think it's warranted here. You cannot allow people just to go and willy-nilly murder people like that and then try to claim self-defense. And then the other weirdos on Twitter and other places trying to say this is the same thing as what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse, which is incorrectly false, right? He was literally chased and a person drawed a gun on him. Someone tried to use a skateboard to kill him. And then a pedo tried to grab him. I mean, yeah, all those three scenarios, Kyle Rittenhouse was, in fact, using self-defense to protect himself, unlike Carmelo Anthony in this situation. And, of course, Tim Pool is just self-destructing. He's crashing out. This guy has sold out. And for those who enjoy watching him, great. Keep watching him if you enjoy it. I just don't think he operates honestly. I don't believe he is, or at least in good faith. I think there's a lot of hidden agendas behind what he's doing. And so you guys can talk about it in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Of course, I think you guys are going to. If this, again, costs me more subscribers, go ahead and unsubscribe. I don't care if truth is what you're seeking, or if you just want to be lied to or given these pretty things to be distracted by, then by all means, go find a channel that does that for you. I'm going to do my best to give you guys the hard, honest truth from what I can find. And if you guys like it, fantastic. Hit that like button, share it with some other people. If you don't, thanks for sticking around this long. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night, everyone.